Thilo Graf?
Yes, absolutely correct.
What's the name of the company?
AAW Games.
Nice. And what were you showing me just now?
I was showing you Rultmoork, our mega adventure box set, also available as a standalone hardcover and as our beautiful limited edition version provided with artwork by Seattle industry legend Nat Dam.
Very cool.
And this massive adventure campaign contains pretty much anything you'd want. Absolutely nasty bosses. And of course, minis included in the box set.
Very nice.
A new way to interact with the environment and with monsters. So, for example, a creature comes and it has this ability that moves player characters around, you know, so soft crowd control. The players get to find magic items and use these to interact with the dungeon, with the monsters, and then these creatures suddenly change completely. So where before it could move things around, it suddenly has this aura where it makes things slow and where it essentially restricts things in different ways.
Are you saying the powers of the creatures change under certain conditions?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
To illustrate this, we used color coding. This, for example, would be a creature in flow mode. This is a creature in stagnation mode. And the colors help you quickly run this. Black text applies to
very
it both.
cool. What triggers the mode change?
The players. The players with their interactions.
Oh, okay.
Because the entire adventure is focused on rewarding skillful players and players doing smart things over just, you know, rolling high. Rolling high is super helpful to get you out of a pickle, you know.
Right.
But in the end, it's genuinely just more or less a question of how smart the players are, how well they deal with the challenges posed, and of course how they can deal with those beautiful, beautiful bosses.
Very cool. So these are all adventures I see there for Pathfinder and also 5e?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the stuff is for 5th edition, while the Survivalist Guide to Spelunking, which I wrote with Douglas Niles and Stephen Yeardley, is almost setting agnostic. I know people that use it for OSR games, for BX, for Dungeon Crawl Classics, for Pathfinder 1st edition, Pathfinder 2nd edition, and so on, because it contains modular rules that you can mix and match. For example, momentum that rewards, you know, players walking around and you know, keeping the combat fluid, not just standing in front of the enemies and trading blows, right?
Interesting.
There are survival mechanics in there for, you know, faster and easier tracking of resources like food, water, and stuff like that. So you don't have to spend every 3rd or 4th session with the grand shopping trip for, you know, materials and things like that.
Nice.
And tables upon tables, if you want. I can show you, because, for example, this one is black and white, and as you can see, we have all those cool little comics.
Nice.
There below. And
that reminds me a little bit of Sergio Aragonés.
Yeah, that was essentially the intention. Our artist loves him. I am a huge fan of the good old Mad comics, so yeah. So we have, for example, rules for light and darkness. Here, crystallized waves of an underworld ocean. There are new conditions in there like shroomitis, which essentially turns you into a kind of mushroom zombie slowly who emits spores and tries to infect other people. So essentially infectious flatulence. And
that's a special kind of myconid.
Yeah, and of course tables. A whole bunch of tables.
Cool.
So also rules for essentially mapping 3D environments, because you know the Underdark is a 3D environment. It's not just flat like the surface. So I came up with a way to really quickly and efficiently use hex grid paper to map 3D environments without it being confusing for the GM or the players.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm incredibly proud of that one.
Very cool.